carrying him. I love it. There he is. All right, guys.
We got another one.
Lord Greymon!
Awesome.
Digivolve 2?
Yeah!
Angemon?
Yeah.
All right, guys, just waiting on Mr. Brian Donovan, and then we'll get started. But we've been talking just a little about favorites as we go on. Now, one thing that I've realized as a panelist on these, not everyone is an expert in the thing that they're in. So when it comes to audience questions, let's not do any Digimon trivia to these lovely gentlemen. Let's ask them about their experiences and more what matters to them. So the panel's about to start. Please hang on. And guys, we have a little special presentation that we worked on. It's a live action Digimon short that we did. It's just a little love letter from us to you guys. Nice. So there's a little CG Agumon. It's going to play right here if you guys want.
CG Agumon?
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
It's more just, we just love Digimon. We wanted to do it.
Oh,
and
cool.
Jerry, my VFX artist, is the heart and soul.
Jerry.
Right there.
Cool.
He's
Jerry.
awesome. He did the CG movement for Agumon. All right, guys, we are almost here. It's almost time to start. And if you guys are in the right place, this is the Digimon movie 22-year anniversary. So hang tight. It's Brian's line.
No, he's probably.
What?
No, it's all good.
He's on his way.
He's on his way.
He had an avalanche of people wanting his autograph.
right there at the end.
You know?
Probably start with him.
Yeah. Hello, people. Hi, my Digi-Destins.
That's right.
What's going on? So, did anybody just give themselves a refresher before they came, and did they rewatch the movie?
Yeah.
Right?
I did.
I should have. Did you?
I did this morning.
I was like, I should do that, and then I'm like, oh no, I have to pay for internet. No.
It was online for free.
I know.
I Googled
didn't.
it.
I didn't pay the $13 for internet.
No, it was just free.
What?
I found a site. Yeah. Just
All
Google
right.
it.
Yeah, I couldn't find a site because I didn't pay for the internet.
Oh, that's
At
what
the
it was.
hotel.
That's what it was. That's the 13.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yes, did it refresh you? Did it make you go, oh
Well,
yeah?
I mean, we watch it every August 1st for like the anniversary.
Oh, cool.
So it's just a couple months early.
Yes.
There he is.
Here he is.
David.
Yeah!
The Roost. Mr. Davis.
How's it going? Jeez, Davis, why do you always have to be so late?
We're on a panel.
And come on, my name's TK. It's not JD or...
Remember when he used to call him everything but his name?
Yes.
BJ.
I do remember that vividly. Yeah.
All right, guys, we are here at the Digimon 22-year anniversary for the movie. Oh yes, I love the energy. The Digimon fans are something else.
We're
We love
that
you guys. My name's Colin Bass. I will be your host. A little bit about me and my Digimon history. The Digimon movie is the first thing I show to people to go, hey, check out Digimon. This is what you need to see first, and it is just the perfect thing to get new fans. So I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, their name, and who they play, and then we'll dive into this amazing panel.
I guess I'll start because I'm right next to you.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm a guy named Doug Erholtz, and I played TK in season 2. And he was probably my biggest anime character up until then, so kind of cut my teeth on anime, so.
So thank you guys for coming. I haven't seen Patamon. I think he's in the bathroom.
Or apparently he's a girl, I don't know. I just met the voice actress, Laura.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so.
Nice.
But yes, it's been a pleasure playing this character because he's such a sweetheart, and you know, despite Davis wanting his lady the entire, it's been a blast. Thank you guys so much.
And my name is Lex Lang, and I play Rapidmon, and I co-Omnimon, and of course, War Greymon!
My voice would never get that low. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I'm Brian Donovan, and I play the voice of Davis. And season 2, Flame Jack, one of the best costumes in anime history. As far
Yes.
and I am just waiting patiently for the pop to come, because the pop, he deserves a pop, doesn't he? I'm popping
yeah.
right now, in fact.
Yes.
Pop, pop, pop,
I
pop,
think
pop.
War Greymon needs a pop.
Yeah, War
All
Greymon.
of you guys
What's
need
taking
pops,
them
that's
so
for
long?
sure.
So you
TK
guys,
needs a little bucket hat Funko Pop.
you can be part of my pop.
Yes.
Because I was so jealous of you. Yeah, I play Davis, and Digi Armor Energize!
That's
Digivolve 2!
it. Yours was Flame Dramon or something like that?
Vmon.
Vmon.
Yeah. We said, and on we go.
Right.
Yeah, little Vmon. God, love him.
So
So cute. Come on, right? Cute.
very
So
cute.
cute.
So you guys obviously know your characters pretty well. You've repeated these lines hundreds of times. Is there a certain line that sticks out to you that you really enjoy saying, or are you kind of burnt out on it? What line do you ring in your head where you're like, I love that my character said this? I'll start with you, Brian.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Colin, for having us.
Oh, my
Thank you for being
pleasure.
here.
You guys are awesome.
Everybody thank Colin. Colin's awesome.
That is.
If anybody's been paying attention to the social media and all of that, Colin's it.
He's behind all of it,
He
yeah.
is the marquee. He is Riverside. I almost said Pasadena. We'll be there too.
We'll be there, yeah. We'll all reunite there too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I hope it goes without saying that Digi Armor Energize is my favorite line. I still love saying it, and I think, it's funny, you always wonder, like those one-hit wonder bands, like if they must get sick of singing the same song over and over and over, and that's the only one the fans cheer about, and the rest are like, I'm gonna go get a beer. But, and it's with Digi Armor Energize, and whenever you say that, like that, and so my point is, I don't think they get sick of that one song, because the energy and the fervor and the love that they get from the audience, and that we get from you guys, when I say a line like that, like it just, dare I say, makes my heart really warm and cozy. I mean, it's
an
true.
immediate reward, right? People cheering right after.
Yeah,
great.
it's just such an appreciation. I think we're all looking for that in life, right? We want to know that we're appreciated. We want people to know, that we're here for a reason, that people care, and so yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate, even with those lines that we might say 1,000 times, to know that what we created or had a small part in creating, with the voice, and it's appreciated that way is an amazing feeling. And so in conclusion, I don't get sick of saying it, because it's such a wonderful exchange of energy, and I think that's the connectivity that we're all looking for, especially in these crazy times, like I feel like we're losing a sense of this connectivity, and this is a very lofty answer for a short question, but I think it's important, to remember like why we're here, and with that as an example is this really nice connection, and I think that makes the world go round. The good part of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something different with these Digimon fans where we're not sick of hearing it either. We shout it ourselves, right? There's one line that I was not hoping that you'd say, but there's one that I want to reference, is the pizza order in the Digimon movie, where they order this crazy pizza and then Davis goes, that sounds good for me. What are you going to get? I love that one. That will always stick out to me. But we love long-winded answers. You guys do not hesitate. We love hearing you guys talk, obviously. Lex?
What he said.
What he ordered.
Not only what he said, but, it's been such a joy to be War Greymon over the years. And, like Brian was just saying, the connection that the fans have with the show and with War Greymon, it's just so endearing, and it really does fill my heart always, And I know I've said War Greymon so many times over the years, but it always brings me pleasure to see the pleasure it brings you guys. And so I thank you from my heart, just for the connectiveness that we have. So
That's amazing. Yeah. Amazing answers. No pressure, Doug.
What they said.
Well, I have not done TK's voice in quite some time, and I was like, man, can I do it?
You did it.
And no, yes. Well, I practiced in my closet at home.
That's because he's got really tight underwear.
It's true. Yeah, exactly.
That was a Davis line right there.
Right? And so the word that really always would bring me back to that, to TK, is
Patamon. Panamon!
Like that was where I would try to get. I could find his voice, and so, and it was like Panamon was like his best buddy, and kind of like his teddy bear, and I mean, kind of one of the cutest. Like I got to be honest with you, I'm pro Panamon, not digging on Pikachu, but I'm just saying, why don't you get the real thing? It's Panamon, right?
And then you get a super buff Angel Man when it
Yes, and then come on, it's like
it's a win-win, right?
win-win, totally. Yeah, you just wait and watch. He's gonna turn into something spectacular.
And he saved the whole season.
And just a little
Digimon.
thing like total world domination. We're cool. Yeah.
So guys, just a reminder, I see some new people coming in. This is the Digimon 22-year anniversary movie panel. And we have a little surprise at the end that we worked on. It's a live-action Digimon short. Just a love letter from us fans that wanted to show that we need more Digimon. We want a live-action Digimon movie. So
Yes.
it's not done, but it's definitely just something I think we would all appreciate because we've never seen anything like this before. So please stick around, guys. I hope you'll have a seat and look at it too.
Love it.
This question is for Lex Lang, and I will open up audience questions a little bit later. But Lex,
Yes.
can you remember or tell us a story? And if you don't remember, no pressure. Do you remember the first time you saw the Warp Digivolve into Wargreymon?
I think it was for the movie.
Right.
Yeah. And it was an interesting, when we were watching the movie, nothing had come out really like that before. So the whole idea of Digivolve was a whole new concept, So we were watching it, and when he finally turns into Wargreymon, I was like, that looks pretty badass. That's pretty cool. Like he looked just like fierce, I think was what came to my mind. And so, yeah, that's the impression I got right away. And I was like, yeah, he's got to have something fierce as a voice behind him, fierce and strong and protective. Like I think at one point he's like, I'll save you. He's like, so like I really wanted it to carry that like protector and that fierceness to it. So yeah.
Yeah, I was asking the audience first when they first saw things go CG in Digimon, because at the ultimate level, things start going CG and like picking up. And we all just remember going, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
So especially when you guys play the character and you're like, oh, is this what I'm voicing? Wow, that is awesome.
Right.
So Doug, the thing that I'm learning about lots of voice actors is you guys never really are in the same room or see each other. Right. There's a lot of this Naruto cast reunion. I think people are meeting for the first time. This show's been out for
I think possibly, yeah.
Some of them,
I mean,
so there was a very funny and healthy rivalry between TK, Davis, and a little bit of love triangle with Kari.
you think?
I think.
Did anybody see that? I didn't see that. Absolutely.
Were you ever in the same room with Brian going over these lines?
I got to be honest with you. Did we ever meet when we were
This is what I was
recording?
We
wondering.
never met recording Digimon. In fact, we
I
didn't even
honestly
meet.
thought you were a young kid. I'm not lying because your natural voice is like there. You just like tweak it a little bit. But I was like, who is this guy? And then I'm like, he's my age? No way.
Let's go get a beer. Come on.
Right. Yeah. So no, it's thrilling to come to these conventions because we get to meet you guys. Thank you again for inviting us. This is a blast.
Yeah.
We get to see each other and like be like, hey, remember we never did this together, right? Yeah.
See, oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's great because we do get to hear. If somebody's pre-laid down some vocals, sometimes the director or the sound engineer will let us play off of it. And so we'll get little snippets, but we don't get, to really play as actors with each other.
I never wanted to meet the voice of TK because I needed to, channel my angst and my anger.
Too bad you like
I didn't, if I started to like Doug, I'd be like, oh,
Right.
no, shoot, how am I going to act?
I think I'd have made it really impossible for you to like me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Davis? Davis!
TK,
So the
Corey's mine.
What happens?
Like, come on, let's go home, Patamon. Oh, come on.
What happens is when we get
I thought you were going to say what happens in the booth stays in the booth.
just like Vegas, baby.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
When we get an anime, it's really just an original animation from Japan.
Right.
And so there's an adaptation, an English adaptation writer who writes it so that the English matches all the flaps. So because that's happening and we're matching to flaps, we can't record it the way we would like if we were doing a Batman or a Justice League where we're all in the same room and then after we record they animate to us. We have to do it individually and we go from each cue to each cue. We don't get to run through the entire script all the way through from the beginning to the end.
Right.
So that's the difference. That's why we record alone is because we're there doing just that one character and we're going from each line down the line.
You know, and I will add to that because what's interesting, and I haven't done a lot of cons. I mean, this is, I think, maybe my 9th. So I really just started doing them. And one of the things that scared me is, when you're dubbing, you don't have, as Lex started to describe, when you're doing original animation, you're all in the studio. I mean, we've all seen enough videos now, and I think we all kind of know how it works. But the luxury of doing original is you're in the round, you're going through the whole script, so you know the whole story, you're seeing it happening, so there's kind of there's a print in your brain, and so you remember the episodic better than you would.
Yeah.
With dub, you're literally just doing your character, and as these guys have said, you might hear a few lines before, and a good director will kind of tell you where you're at in the story, but you don't. A lot of times, it's harder to remember because you're not seeing the whole story. You're not watching it like you guys are watching at home, right? In the episode, you're seeing the whole show, or maybe you're binge watching 15 episodes, and you hear your mom say, "Go to bed." But so and of course I'm an old fart, so I wasn't watching Digimon. I was just really busy. I didn't own a TV until last year. So I was always really nervous because I was like, oh my God, they're gonna ask me a question about episode 13, and I'd be like, I have no idea. I'm not sure. So it's tricky.
You didn't have a TV, man. We get it. I feel bad now.
My kids made me. I have a 7 and 9-year-old. I'm like, Dad, everyone else has a TV. Why don't we have a TV? All right, kids. Anyway, I got my first TV a year ago.
And you gave him like a box set of Digimon, right?
And I did. I gave him a box set of Digimon. That was their present. Here you go.
Yeah, the directors tend to help us understand where the character is in the arc, and then we watch the Japanese version of the same character so we can understand the emotional content that's going on with the character we're playing. But we really depend on the director to tell us where we are in the story, because it might be, okay, they call them loops, so like you're on loop 6, and they're all numbered, so we do our one line in line 6, and they go, okay, go to loop 238, and so you go to 238,
Yeah.
and then we don't have any idea what's happened between loop 6
Right.
and 238, so the director says, okay, he was here, he digivolved to this, now he's on another planet, like they fill us in with things as they go, so that's the challenge.
I'm amazed when I actually see a show and I'm like, I thought I was the lead character in this. You're like, because those are the only lines you know. You're like going, the storyline is all me, right? Right? And then you're like going, oh my God, I'm barely in this.
Just to make it clear, Doug, I was the lead in season 2.
Yeah.
Gotta clarify.
You were definitely the most Davis in season 2.
So just to
Davis!
just to clarify, this isn't a trivia thing, so when we get to audience questions, don't ask about season 2, episode 13.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
On a
so
very special.
moving on, back to the movie. And no judgment from any of us, right? Has everyone here seen the movie? Gentlemen?
Yes,
Yes.
I saw it today again.
Well, you just got a TV, so.
I saw.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's funny because I saw it back in when it came out.
Oh, awesome.
Because I was like, hey, I'm in a movie, and that's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah.
So even though the critics didn't appreciate it like our fans do,
Right.
but no, I mean, so yeah, I saw it. But here, I'll tell you a funny story. So my wife, who's actually going to be here, this is her first con. My 2 little boys are here. It's their second con. So when I met my wife, we went on our first date. She's like, well, so, 20 questions, like, so what do you do? And I was like, I do voices, for, whatever. I was kind of swirling around it because I was like, you wouldn't know, She goes, no, try me. I was like, well, right now I'm doing this voice, Davis, on this show, Digimon. She goes, oh my God, I've seen the movie 6 times. And I was like, what?
First love, one on side, right?
And
Wow.
she was nannying 2 boys, and they loved it, and they just dragged it to the movie 6 times, So it was really funny. I was like, you don't want me to do the voice, you're not gonna turn the lights out, are you? Anyway, we never role played in that way, but.
There's the flame jacket, Brian.
Yeah,
There's the
is this
flame jacket.
PG or PG-13?
Right.
Okay, how'd they mark this one? Yeah, but anyway, that's a pretty funny story because I was like, I couldn't believe, I'm staring across, the way from dinner at the table with, this awesome woman who has seen Digimon the movie 6 times. She knew the movie better than I did. I mean, I was just like,
We should get her on the panel.
Yeah.
we should get her on the panel. Yeah.
Okay,
She's
so
my Kari.
Yes.
of course not.
She's my Kari.
We all love Kari though, right, guys? Yes. Okay. All right. Oh, big applause for
Kari.
Kari. Okay, so since you guys have seen it, and again, no pressure, do you guys have a favorite scene that sticks out to you? I'm gonna do mine. It was definitely the debut of Omnimon because that blew my mind.
Yes.
And even I have a little story, if you guys don't mind. My friend's dad took us to the theater. He's like, "Oh, I have to see the Digimon movie." We're like, "Please, please, please!" And he leaves and he goes, "That was actually pretty good." And he was like on our side, and we're like, "Can we see it again?" Like we were amped, and we won this 50-year-old dude over who's never seen an anime in his life. But that movie won him over, and he was chuckling at the jokes and the '90s soundtrack. So
Right.
I really am a huge adamant. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Buy the DVD or VHS, wherever it is. Watch it. You won't regret it. That was my little moment. But you guys, I would love to hear your favorite moment from the movie after watching it.
I had a really interesting take on all this because I actually worked for Saban when the Digimon movie was coming out. And do you remember this? You remember, I was an assistant to the VP of music, and I was involved with getting some of the musical acts for it. So yeah, I mean, we had good 90s bands, it was great.
Hey now, you're a rock star.
Smash Mouth, how can you go wrong? But I think for me, I don't remember any specific, I saw it back in the theaters back then, I haven't seen it since, but was how beautiful the animation was and how they really made it, refined it. It was a little bit more elegant, but it was still the same characters,
Yeah.
And that's what I remember. Like, I wanted more of that. I was like, do more movies like this, do more movies like this. And, but overall, I just think it was such a beautiful, I think that we could have gone on and done a bunch more of these, and I think they'd have been really successful, but it really captured the core of the show. And it was really just special to kind of see that on a big screen for the first time. You're like, wow. And it's so much more impactful like that.
Yeah.
Not only just the show, but multiple seasons all together with some different time jumps. It was everything a Digimon fan could want and more. Just to chime in real quick. Lex?
I thought that the scene where War Greymon was kind of out cold and they were kind of pleading to get him back, that was like a touching scene. I liked that a lot. And then I was going to say Omnimon also, like when it was that, they all
Cape?
combine and come together. Yeah, and it's like super cool. And then I thought I can't remember which iteration of the Digi-evolution it was, but when Tai, at the very beginning when they're still very young. Before,
Oh, yeah.
When
Like a kaiju scene, like Godzilla status.
yeah, but when which character is it jumps out the window? The first
Agumon.
Agumon, yeah. When Agumon jumps out the window and Tai's like, I don't know so much about my mom's car,
There was jokes nonstop. I loved it.
Yeah, the jokes were great. And is the fan here? They came to my table yesterday, but they were talking about the scene where Davis and Willis were at the tree and the set. Yeah, and it was just this. Well, and there was you were there too, but we talked about that and yeah, your friend. Oh, it's your friend. Okay, is he here? But it was so sweet because he remembered a scene which I remember vividly. When Will tells him the sad story and David says, that's the saddest story I've ever heard. But it was so emotional and it just seemed really special to me, because I was like, I guess to your point, like the visuals and that it just felt special. And I think as an actor, you yearn for those moments when you really have to act. Because a lot of times, like the coin phrases that you see, like they become almost, they're part of your DNA, right. and you can just say, Digi armor, and in every which way you can. But then you have a scene like that where you're in the studio and the director's like, let's watch this in real time. Like I want you to get the feel for it and really, sit in there. And that's really special too, because you're just churning them out. Okay, let's go to 6. Let's go to, Luke 223. But when you sit with it, okay, this is gonna be a special scene. Like there's something happening. And that's what we did. We just watched it in real time, And I was like, you know, and I think I welled up a little bit, you know, because it's like, you know, I was like, wow, this is really beautiful and special. And then of course you have to act, you know, and I think that's what you get paid for, right? Because there's sometimes you go to the studio and you're having a really tough time, you know. When I was doing, I tell this story, I've told this story before, but when I was doing Naruto, you know, my sister died, my dad died, like there was a lot going on. And so as an actor, you know, they give you a week to mourn, but then you gotta jump back in, and so you get paid to go, okay, I gotta leave that outside the door, and then I gotta act, you know, and especially with Rock Lee, because he's so like, you know, so it was the antithesis of what I was going through as a human being, so as an actor, but like I think with that, you know, Davis is so like, too, and then to have him in that sweet, beautiful, emotionally grounded way, and I'm not that, you know, my nature, very fortunately, is very positive and very, so again, full circle, like, to be really acting and I'm really emotional that way was really special. And when I watched the movie, I was like, it works. Like, it really works, you know? It's a really lovely scene.
There are a lot of beautiful moments in Digimon that we all appreciate. Who here was at the Digimon versus Pokemon panel yesterday? I know my warriors here. Yes, I recognize. So, guys, well, hold on. I have
We did, baby. We did.
Oh, yeah.
So I was 2-0 in Digimon versus Pokemon. Obviously, Team Digimon. I won. I won 2 years in a row at these things. Then yesterday, something horrible happened.
What?
A 26-25 loss.
Oh,
Yeah, loss. But I talked to the crowd and I talked to the one dude that went in and voted last second to make me lose. We agreed it was a tie.
Oh,
so
good.
I'm 2-1-0. But with that being said, we had a really great moment about how deep Digimon can get. And those moments that I almost called you Davis, that Brian brought up, the War Greymon scene, the rivalry between TK and Davis, those are the things that really set it aside from Pokemon. And I'm not trying to bash Pokemon, I'm just saying I think that Digimon's deeper, and that's why we're all here as mostly adults, and we all are bonding over this amazing anime. So that's my 2 cents on it.
So nanny nanny hoo hoo, we're better than you.
Where were you guys yesterday? We needed you.
That's right.
I also think there was a lot of good comedy. Like Joshua
Yeah.
Seth did such a good job with all those different emotions, you know, and like the sending the email thing where he types love at the end.
Yeah.
You know? That was just so funny. I was cracking up today watching. I was like, Josh did such a great job.
Yeah, that scene with the mom and the mom feeding them really weird snacks like beef jerky shakes or something, right? Right, the beef jerky, and then it's like it's happening, and then like runs away. Oh man, it's so funny. There's so many good moments. All right,
You know,
guys.
It's funny. I think I told you this, Colin. We talked like a little prelim interview. You know, a
When we
few weeks
became
ago.
best friends, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're best friends now. As long as you don't like TK.
Hey,
I don't see
You
him
gotta
here.
keep your loyalties.
TK grew up. Let's do this, Davis.
Davis never did. Yeah, I'm still waiting to grow up and my voice to drop in for War Greymon in case you can't do it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So funny enough though, I mean the fans are the fans, right? And you guys are so loyal, and you know some of you throttle between the two, Pokemon and Digimon, which is fine. It's not my favorite, but if you throttle back and forth, that's okay. I understand. But you know the Digimon fans are rabid, the Pokemon fans are rabid. But what's really funny is the people that don't know anything. And so when I would say I'm in the show Digimon, you know, and if they're, you know, if they didn't watch it at all, they'd be like, oh, wait, I know that show, Pokemon. And I was like, no, I didn't say Pokemon. Did I say Pokemon? I said Digimon. Well, wait a minute, isn't that the same? No, it's not the same. No. So it'd be funny because, you know, any old farts or whatever, you know, like, what is that?
oh, I had 3 nephews. Their oldest was, I think, 8 at the time. And I'm like going, hey guys, guess what? Uncle Doug's on Digimon. They're like, Digimon sucks. We watch Pokemon. I'm like,
wait, Tom.
Christmas is canceled, kids.
Yeah.
Out of here.
What they meant to say was TK sucks. And then they love
Where's
Davis.
Kari at? Kari's gonna.
wow, we need Kari here. Yeah.
All right, so as you guys may or may not know, the movie was coming out while season 2 was already premiered, and these
Right.
guys were, you know, the scheduling. You hear how out of order it is, how you're just in there. You do the job, you do the best you can. Can I ask you the moment you heard, hey, we're getting a movie, and it's coming to theaters worldwide. Do you guys remember that moment, and can you talk about it?
Some of them weren't born, but of those that were
No,
born,
you guys. I'm talking about you guys.
No, that's good.
Because you guys are there for work for season 2.
Right.
Yeah,
Season
yeah.
2 is going great. I remember me and my friends loved it. But then when the movie was announced, I was like, what? And then it's a combination of both seasons and more. Do you guys have a specific memory? It's okay if you don't remember. But do you remember your producer or director going, hey, Digimon the movie's coming out next year. Let's dive in.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was Splice of Bread guys, Bob and
Jeff.
Yeah,
So,
Jeff.
yeah, we so Jeff Nimoy and Bob Buchholz were the producers slash directors slash adapters for the movie, and I think they knew early on that was going to be kind of part of the package.
Yeah.
So I think they were kind of already, working it when we knew about it early on, didn't we?
Yeah, it was pretty early buzz, and I mean, I think they were trying to figure out the conversation. I remember a little bit was they were trying to figure out how to adapt it for an American audience because it was changed, right? It's considered
They
an
cut it up a
original.
little bit, yeah.
That's right. They cut it
Yeah.
up. They 30, 40 minutes, and so
Had to move things around a little.
Yeah, move things around, and so I think partly you were trying to figure out, very selfishly and egotistically, how much is Davis going to be in it? You were like, well, is Davis a big part, a small part? Is he even in it?
Right.
I mean, I knew I was in it, but you didn't know how much, and so they were kind of all swirling around the details and like, okay, what is this going to look like? And but it was super exciting. I mean, as I said, I went to see it for a reason. I mean, I think as an actor, when you're pursuing, I mean, the cherry on top, like the thing that every actor wants to be is in a movie that's playing in a theater, right? I mean, that is the pinnacle of success, right? I mean, in that way, like, yeah. And so, yeah, it was very, very exciting to know that our little anime show was going to be a movie.
The big screen.
Yeah, big screen.
What about
Yeah.
you guys? Do you guys remember your moments when you were told that?
I remember thinking that it was extremely cool. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is really cool. This is awesome. Who knew? Who knew it would turn into this?
I did.
Yeah.
We all do, right?
That's right, Colin.
I just remember Jeff Nimoy, the director, being like, "This is my ticket into the Hollywood," and like, I think they had started working on it, and they're pretty funny guys. They were kind of responsible for a lot of the humor in it, and
Well, thank you.
but they were really super excited about it, so you could tell it was going to be something cool.
That is so great.
Yeah.
Guys, just a quick reminder, we have a little live action Digimon short that we did. It's just a little love letter. Hopefully it turns into something with your guys' help, but also we're just happy to debut a little sample of it here. So stick around for that. Now is the time I've been looking forward to. Let's talk to the audience. So guys, if you guys have any questions, yeah, the audience, we love you guys.
Hello.
So please don't be nervous. Please don't be scared. We want to talk to you guys. Obviously, all three of these amazing people are great to talk to. I'm having a blast. I'm giving the floor to you guys. Are there any questions out there? Oh, good. Okay, let's go Ty first.
Nice, Ty.
Oh, and Coromon.
Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks for the goggles, Ty.
So I did see the Digimon movie in theaters. I was like 8 years old. It was such a great experience. I saw it with friends. I remember everyone saying, like when they Digiball, all the kids in the theater was like, Digiball too. I wish I could relive it again.
Yeah.
That's
But
Digimon.
one question I want to ask, the Digimon movie, it just all the lines were just like so great, all the jokes. But do you have a specific like favorite joke or like specific line from the movie? Because there was just like so many good ones.
Brian. Lex.
Well, that joke where he's writing the email and he accidentally puts love in there and then it gets sent and luckily it doesn't go through. But
Why didn't it go through?
I thought that was funny. I laughed out loud.
When you said that, recounted that earlier, that same. I mean, I laughed
Me
my
too, yeah.
arse off. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I mean, yeah, and there was. I mean, I'm so glad you appreciate it that way, and I really, I mean, I remember when I was 8, or I was 10 when I saw Star Wars. Like, you never forget those cinematic moments in your life when you're a kid. And so it means the world to us. I know that we're part of that for you. So thank you. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Jeff Nimoy and Bob, they wrote all the dialogue and everything.
Yeah.
Primarily Jeff, I think. And here it is, 20-something years later. And Brian and I, just a couple years ago, Jeff Nimoy wrote a movie called Famish, and we ended up playing characters that were named us, but were like literally the opposite of who we really are. We were like fictional characters. It's out there on Tubi TV. I think you can watch it for free right now. It's called Famish. But we all play characters that have our names. You know, I play Lex Lang and he plays Brian, you know, and everything. So, but they're like totally opposite who we really are, sort of, in a way.
He said that twice just to
just
They're
so you
nice.
know, because
In the movie,
I'm
they're
a
really
real
nice.
wiener.
he plays a real asshole.
Hey!
And in mine, I'm divorced, and I have, well, I don't want to have any spoilers, but anyway, I'm divorced in this movie, and my wife is Sandy Fox, who is another voice actress, and she's up there, and she's here as a guest as well, so that's a little trivia. But anyway, yeah, so Jeff, you know, we did this with him, and it was so much fun, and he's still funny, and he's still writing good stuff, so if you get a chance, check out that movie, Famish.
You know,
That was a shameless plug.
the other thing too is, you know, I'm glad you mentioned Jeff and gave him the love that he deserves, because you will find in the business that, like, Jeff loved Digimon. Like, he loved it. Like, when you came in the studio, there was
Sounds
such-
like he's dead. He's not dead.
he's not.
I mean, he's just not here.
But he
Jeff.
almost was, you know.
Jeff Nimoy.
He had a brain tumor a few
right.
years ago, and he
That's
had it
true.
removed. And after he had that removed, he said, "You know what? I've been wanting to make a movie my whole life." And he just went out and he did it. He raised the funds. He made the movie. We shot like 72 pages in 3 days at a
live
comic.
con.
Yeah, at a con. And so, you know, kudos to him. He really loves his work, and he loves Digimon too. So
Yeah, he did. So I mean, you know.
So where can we find that movie again? What?
Tubi.
Tubi TV for free, or you can just, you know, if you're at home on Apple
Do
TV.
your
or
promo
whatever.
voice, Lex.
Tonight at 9.
That's right. This is
I
my
just got
version.
chills.
Tonight at 9 o'clock. Don't forget to watch. All right.
Watch Famish on Tubi TV.
All right, next question from the audience. Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, we're done.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure, because I'm like getting lost too listening to these guys.
That's
I love
all
their
right.
stories, the banter, everything. Yes, you were with me yesterday, right?
Yeah.
In the black shirt. Yes. Oh, with the Digimon shirt. Awesome. This warrior had my back during the Pokemon vs. Digimon panel.
Nice.
So let's hear your question, and he knows his stuff. So get ready.
In episode 13,
Davis has his partner B1 be with armor Digivolve using a DJ with crest and of courage and friendship. But there's always been one that he's actually been able to, and that's the only one that all the others don't have. They don't have a dirt. They don't have a dirt, and that would be the Digi Egg of Miracles. You've been given the crest. You've been given the crest of courage and friendship, but do you believe that Davis is actually one that's meant to have the crest of miracles, just like Will's meant to have the crest of destiny, because his partner trademarked the armor developed to the golden rapid one, and how Ken has the crest of kindness.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah, man, that's a great.
These guys
that's a yes.
Jeez. Hold on, let me write that down.
You're Googling that, I know it.
I mean, look, you are a perfect example of awesomeness. No, I mean, it's true, because to know that you know the show that well and that much love, and you're wearing the shirt, which warms my heart too. So thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, look, I think Davis is awesome, so I think you should have all of the Digi eggs. I mean, you know, Davis was not short of, you know, of thinking he was it, right? So, and with that enthusiasm, and I also really, frankly, I believe in miracles. You know, I believe in dreams, and I believe in things coming true. I believe in, you know, a thrust in life, and where you put your energy is really what's going to happen in your life. And so, and people call them miracles, they call whatever, you know, however you want to brand it, but I do believe in that stuff, and I think Davis does too. So, and of course, you know, courage and loyalty, you know, are his badge of honor. But yeah, absolutely miracles. I mean, that would be my short answer. We could talk about it over lunch. You could probably tell me much more.
You met your match brand.
But yeah, you know, to miracles. Everybody, to miracles.
To miracles.
Miracles coming true.
Great knowledge
Yeah, great
of the
knowledge.
show, and great question. And
Yes.
Yeah.
also, that shirt's awesome too.
And that was in episode 47, by the way. No.
Right.
Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, 23.
Hi. So for Digimon, it was kind of a launching pad for a lot of voice actors. A lot of people that was their first break into voice acting. Was there anybody that you worked with that was like a big, like at the time not a big deal, but suddenly became a big deal? Or for you, was it like also your first break-in experience?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well, wasn't Bryan Cranston on Power Rangers?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so
I never met him, but
my break was Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff. Ecliptor, yeah, Rygog, Larigo, Zenaku.
Yeah.
And my first one, I think, was, what was his name? Oh my God, I'm blanking.
Davis.
I'll come up with it.
Davis.
No, but you know, Steve Bloom was on the Digimon movie. I think he had 3 names then. Steve Brandon, Steve
Johansson.
Bloom. I don't know. But it was Steve Bloom, and now he's obviously a giant voiceover actor, and so yeah, he was just starting back then for Digimon. That's one I remember.
Well, I worked with Tom Kenny in a couple things.
Oh yeah.
He
Tom
worked
Kenny,
on
of course, SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob. Yeah, on Rave Master back in the day. Anybody remember that?
Oh, I remember now. Louis
theme song.
Kaboom. Louis Kaboom was the name of that character.
Louis Kaboom.
He was kind of like a high-pitched work rhythm. Like, Louis Kaboom! He was like kind
I
of...
also remember you playing a voice on Long Holy Night.
Oh, whoa.
Oh yeah, Macaulay Nights.
Yeah, I did
Holy
Macaulay Nights,
mackerel.
too.
You and I are having lunch after, too. This is...
What else do you know about our characters?
Yeah.
We want all the notes you have on our characters.
Yeah. I want someone tell me what I was wearing in
Right.
all of my characters. No, I'm kidding. Well, yeah. No, I mean, for me, Digimon was a big deal because I had done a property on Macaulay Nights, but I also had done Flint the Time Detective.
Oh yeah, I played Murloc Holmes, baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I was Dino Fishman.
Nice. Okay, we should really revive that show.
We should. We should revive that show.
You guys
The
know what
next-
we're talking about? No.
That panel's coming up at 1 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, so that was cool and really fun, but it kind of disappeared, right? It never got traction.
Right.
And so when I was doing that, you'll find, if you don't know already from all the videos and the people talking and the panels you've seen or watched, Hollywood can be a pretty small world. And so the team that was doing that one was part of the team that was doing Digimon, and because I had kind of held my own on, as Tony Goodman on Flint, they said, hey, we're really trying to find, Davis, and he had, the goggles in the past, but the show was a hit, it was a hit at that point. And so the pressure was on, like with Flint, I was just like, oh wow, I got a cool job, this is amazing. But with the goggles, I was like, huge responsibility, I don't want to blow it, I don't want the show to bomb.
With great goggles.
Yeah, that's right, with great goggles. TK,
And back then, anime was pretty fresh and it was pretty new,
Pretty
and
fresh.
so there was only a pool of maybe 30 voice actors that were doing it in Los Angeles.
And none of us had ever met each other.
None of us, and so
true.
those same 30, those that kept going, are all established voice actors now because we've been doing it for 20 plus years. We've been in hundreds of shows and hundreds of anime things, and so everyone was sort of just breaking in back then. They'd only been doing it a few years, So to answer that question, a lot of people that were just breaking in back then are now established if they stuck with it.
I will add too, which was amazing about anime in the early years, is it was boot camp. It was such a workout, and I think one of the reasons a lot of those voice actors have gone on to become very, very successful is you had opportunities that you would never have gotten in original animation. And so, what I do is very limited. I don't have the repertoire that these guys have because I can't draw my voice in like this and sustain it for very long. But a lot of them can, and they were thrown, like in anime, it was like, okay, we need this character. They got 5 lines, they got 6 lines, and so it was like this incredible graduate school, if you will. It was like a PhD in voiceover, especially in the early days, right? And so it got a lot of people. It gave them chops that they would have never had before because really it's a muscle. You got to work it out, which is what we tell when anybody asks us about their career in voiceover. It's like you got to do it. It's a muscle like anything else, and if you ain't working it out every single day, then you're not doing the job, right? You're never going to get there. Anyway, that was a little sidebar. But
And back in the day, we used to. Back in the day, nowadays we have what they call the beeps. There's 3 beeps, and on the fourth, we got the beeps. There's the 4th imaginary beep, which is where we say our line. So it's like doot, 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 hello, right? We do our line. Well, back when we were doing all these things, we didn't have the beeps, and it wasn't all digital with Pro Tools and audio
Analog.
workstations. It was being recorded on tape, and we were watching a time code spin. So we were watching basically the minutes, seconds, and frames, and we were looking at the line, and it's like, okay.
And watching the mouth flaps.
And watching the mouth flaps and doing our acting all at the same time. So it really was like a boot camp where you had to be extremely technically versatile, and so that was like super good training. So now that, you know, these nowadays actors, they got it easy.
They don't know
They
it
got
was
it
like-
easy. We would walk
We
uphill
had-
in the snow both
We had to
ways.
stand in hot cold.
It was, you know what though? It's funny you said it because I remember when we switched to Pro Tools and stuff, they could slide it around, right?
Right.
And so I would do a take in the early days, like right when they switched it, and they're like, no, give us a second, and they'd slide it, and I was like, wait, really? You can move it? What? Like I was stunned, and it was so amazing because as an actor, it just wasn't as much heavy lifting because you know, you'd have to do a take and a take. If you didn't get it like right in the pocket, it'd be like, okay, we got to do another take. We're 3 frames off. We gotta do another take. I was like, did she already die? You know. But then it was like Pro Tools, and it was like sliding, moving, condensing, expanding, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could just concentrate on the acting part
Yeah,
at that point.
yeah.
So, oh, cool, now we can act.
Now we're lazy. We're just like, can you make that work?
Yeah. Now everything I do is in this voice, and they just modify it.
So obviously a lot goes into this that we don't know about, but it's so fun to hear from you guys about the intricate part of it all. We're gonna keep the audience questions going. I'm gonna do a little time check. Yes, you in the front.
Quarter till.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, I watched the Digimon movie the first day it came out. It was amazing, and I've watched the TV show when I was growing up, you know, every Saturday morning, you know, on Fox, and it was
It's
great.
awesome.
I wanted to ask, the Digimon card game has been out the past
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And I was wondering what your guys' thoughts were on that, and maybe inspire a new generation to maybe even watch the TV show as well. And if you guys even look at it.
Now, is this like poker card game? Is that no?
I'm not sure what the rules of the card game are. I've seen a lot of them at my tables, you know,
Yeah.
people want them signed. But I'm not really sure what the rules or what the game itself is doing, so I'd be interested to find out.
It's only because we're all on AARP and we're geriatrics.
My day, you played regular cards.
Where you play a card game? No, I honestly, and I will tell you this, if you come up to my table and have me sign something for Davis, it lights me up. It lights me up. And so when anybody, especially the cards, because I think it's a really cool card.
They're super cool looking.
Yeah, super cool looking. Yeah, it lights me up. I mean, I don't know the card game either. But yeah, they're great and they're really cool looking.
What do you think
And I
about
hope
it?
it does goose the show.
I've played it quite a bit.
You like it?
It's really great.
Yeah.
Has anyone else played the card game at all?
Hands up for the card game, audience.
Okay, so something
Card game,
All right,
Looks
right
like you guys got something going on this afternoon, huh? Maybe another game.
You're all gonna be at lunch with me.
Right.
I was gifted a big pack of the Digimon trading card game by one of my fellow actors that were in the show together. He gave me this big pack, and I felt like a little kid again, opening them up, trying to see what I'm going to do and remembering these guys. So I don't know how to play either, but man, opening up a pack of cards, you never lose that feeling, even as old as we
what
are.
am I gonna get?
It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just the best. All right, guys. So for those of you that have been here, you guys have been amazing. I'm going to give a little brief backstory to why this even exists. It's a little live action love letter to Digimon. It is not done, but we worked really hard on it. And during the pandemic, we were, well, there was no work for actors and everything. And I was over at the studio with my work, and I kept talking about how cool it'd be if there's like a live action Digimon, like the Detective Pikachu thing. And I just kept pushing it. And I kept making them watch Digimon the movie over and over. And then my boss goes, listen, if you can make it happen, I'll let it happen. We can push this. So one thing led to another. Jerry, my amazing friend, he is a fellow actor with me, VFX artist, director. He believed in this project, and it's just kind of like a what if, but with your guys' help, we can make it a reality. And guys, this is literally just to show you that years later, we still love Digimon. So, if you're ready to cue it up.
Thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for being here.
So
Thanks, Colin.
my pleasure. So we're gonna show this, it's only like a minute and a half, and then you guys don't need to leave, we'll do a last minute questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But these guys are signing today. Go see them. Go talk to them. Not about episode 13. We don't like that. But if you guys,
So please come upstairs, say hi to us. We love meeting you guys.
no pressure. But if you guys want to have a seat and watch it, no
Yeah.
worries. But it's just a little